So my name's Liang Luscombe and I'm an artist that I'm doing a PICA residency. And we just had a studio opening on Tuesday, and so that's been for like the 2-month residency. And so we had like an artist talk and then an open studio night. And so now the studio is open till I think the 2nd or the 3rd of April. And there are 2 other studio artists that also have their studios open. Yeah. I studied as a painter at Canberra School of Art, and so my base is kind of painting, but I've also done video and some installation. I mean, this exhibition is a like combination of sculpture and painting. So yeah, I guess my base is as a painter, but then that always extends out beyond that. I've been doing or making art since I was little, and I did art classes before I came to art school, and then I kind of moved from high school to going to art school, and then I actually took a break in between and studied art history for a year in Melbourne. So I also do some arts writing and some curatorial kind of things. I mean, my practice isn't just making art. And so then I did honours. So I've kind of taken a break to do other stuff, and that's also incorporated in my practice of being an artist. So yeah, I guess I've been making art for a long time. Well, not really a long time for such a young person, but it has been an extended thing. It's not like I just decided, oh, I'll become an artist. I've been making art since I was little. I guess because I haven't done residency before, this is my first one, I became really conscious of the fact that I'd put this proposal to PICA about doing disaster films or looking at apocalyptic films and the kind of rise of apocalyptic films in the last few years in relation to issues of climate change and, you know, a kind of global situation. And so I started looking at like The Road and Children Men and all these films and taking photographs from these movies to make paintings from. But then in that process, I guess, things changed, and my practice is kind of, or this show is quite an oblique kind of view in relation to disaster films. And I guess like this work over here, can I call it artwork? One of the works that I made is I've like bought maybe 30 cans of tin food because I'd seen this film, The Road, and one of the happiest scenes in the film is where the father and the son find this stash of canned food in a bunker, and they have this feast of spam. It's one of like, you know, it's a happy scene, but it's also one of the most revolting scenes in the film. And it really struck me that was a happy moment when, you know, all I could see was the canned food. And so I thought it would be a good idea to prepare for other studio artists, and maybe if, you know, something could strike, then they would be safe and they'd have some food for later on. So that's one of the artworks that I've made. And I guess that's in the kind of expanded field of things that I've been doing at PICA, not just painting, some other activities as well. I guess over this period of looking at disaster films, I have been watching, you know, quite a lot recently. And I think one of the interesting things about the rise of apocalyptic films in the last few years, I mean, there have been quite a lot in the media at the moment, is that paradox of watching your own demise and the masses going to watch their own demise just before and as we're becoming aware of our own situation, and that being a part of entertainment for the masses as well is really interesting for me. There's something really seductive about a disaster film as well. It's that kind of pressure point that, you know, it rises to the very end point of the film, and the kind of amped up human relationships that they talk about in the films. I totally understand why, you know, everybody loves them, because you get sucked in. But it's also that thing of, you know, millions of dollars going into production like that is pretty interesting, I think. Yeah. As an emerging artist, it's really important to be, you know, going for opportunities and stepping out of your comfort zone. So moving to Perth is quite a big thing from Melbourne for a couple of months, and leaving all my friends behind. So yeah, I think like those kind of things are really important for artists to be doing early in their career, to be, you know, taking on things like residencies and, you know, applying for grants and all that kind of stuff. NEIS is the new enterprise initiative scheme, and I'm currently undertaking it. So it's kind of a scheme in which helps people start new businesses, and the government will give you a small amount of money to help you do that. But also give you, kind of more importantly, give you training to look at small business management. So, you know, boring things like bookkeeping and stuff like that, things that, you know, I didn't know anything about that are pretty important if you want to run a business successfully, and do the paperwork. So those kind of things. And then continued support through the year to help you maintain your business and, you know, be supportive in, you know, applying for things and getting your work out there and stuff like that. So that's kind of what NEIS is about. But also, I guess, out of doing NEIS, we've also started doing some screen printed bags and like look at other avenues that are maybe, you know, will bring in other sorts of cash flows, like screen printed bags and other items that I can use that are also artistic but functional in other ways. Yeah, I definitely think that there could be more support for artists. I mean, always. Australia is good, but, you know, could definitely be better, particularly for emerging artists. I think, you know, the main thing for emerging artists is, you know, showing in galleries a lot, and that being artist-run spaces, because, you know, you won't be represented by a gallery, and to continue showing and being active in the scene, I think is really important. And, you know, in being active, you'll meet people along the way that might be able to help you. So I think that's the underlying thing, yeah. In a place like Perth, it kind of reminds me of where I studied art school in Canberra, just in that there are lots of young artists that are doing stuff, and you know, often they do move away a lot, and like later on in their careers. But I think like that kind of young arts community can be a really exciting thing in terms of kind of vibrancy, and you can actually, you know, because there aren't so many artists and it's a smaller, tighter community, you can get a lot of support from that. I think that can be a really good thing. But also, you know, strange things can happen in isolation and kind of tangents, and I think that's something that could be really important. I mean, that seems to be the case in like the Perth music scene, and that's kind of what it's well known for. So I think those kind of things can be really good for Perth. Yeah.